everybody? Welcome to week 46 of my Accutane adventures. We have gone for a long time, but we only have just a short journey left. We're just this close. Now, before I go into this actual Accutane video, I want to tell you guys about two things very quickly. Now, I used to have a channel called Humorous Progress. What? What's that? Well, it's a channel where I used to log my bodybuilding progress, my actual body composition, my fat, my weight, all that good stuff, just like I do on Sundays, but it was my entire channel. I stopped posting to that channel about a year and a half ago, but just recently, I found a really cool way for me to vlog with my cell phone. So this basically just means I'm smashing a bunch of videos together and I can put up vlogs without any editing, without any music. So it's just something fun for me to dump videos into. So if you're interested in seeing some more content, very, very much so less produced than the stuff you're seeing on this channel, but it's a good way for you guys to get kind of a personal touch because I'll be putting up videos all the time. Please check out Humorous Progress. I'll put a link right there in the description below. And the second thing I want to just mention real quick is that an all-new stock will be on beyondtheweek.com on October 1st. So make sure you check that out because there are going to be some very, very cool things. Now on to the Accutane video. Now this week is pretty much the same as last week. I still have a little one right here and a little one on my forehead. Now this one on my cheek, I will tell you this, I will admit this to you guys. I did pick at it. I thought it was ready. It felt like it was just, it needed to be like the dry skin and you pull off the top of it. But when I pulled the dry skin off of it, it actually made a nice giant crater hole thing in my face. And if you guys have had acne, you know what I'm talking about. It made a nice big hole, which then scabbed over. And then when I was showering the next day, when I was using the towel on my head and my body and whatnot, I think it scraped off again, made another big old hole. So it's been kind of just sticking around for a week. It's probably gonna stick around until halfway through next week, and then it'll finally be gone, which I'm stoked about. So as far as the whiteheads go, pretty friggin' awesome. I just have like one, maybe two of them, not bad at all. As far as my blackheads go, a lot of you guys have been asking me what I'm gonna do about them. There's a lot in my forehead still. You can see them if you get close to me or if I'm close to the camera. But I haven't been pushing at these or picking at these because when I push on my skin really hard to push a blackhead out, because my skin's quality is compromised because of Accutane, I'm serious, I get little abrasions from pushing my fingers onto the skin. It almost rips the top layer of skin off and creates like this, it's an abrasion. It's horrible. So I try not to pick at my blackheads unless they are like super ready. But what I plan on doing for my blackheads is I plan on getting an extraction probably about the last 4 weeks of my, I was gonna say competition, the last 4 weeks of my treatment. So I will probably get an extraction every week for the last 4 weeks for, you know, obviously 4 treatments, and hopefully that can help me get a lot of these blackheads out. Because when I was doing my extractions before, I didn't feel like Accutane had fully kicked in yet, so I felt like some of the blackheads were being extracted and then new blackheads were forming, so it was kind of, you know, counterintuitive. But I feel like now, if we got some blackhead extractions, it would actually help me quite a bit. As far as my side effects go, all the same, guys. Just got a little bit of dry skin on my face, especially under my lips, like right where my chin is. I have a little bit of dryness in my eyes, a lot of dryness in my lips, which I just take care of with some chapstick. And that's pretty much it. Now, of course, I am very, very, very fortunate, and I realize this. A lot of people will discover that they have a lot more side effects than me, or maybe they don't, maybe they have the same as me, but there is a potential for you to have a lot of bad side effects, you know, like depression and all that stuff, and I've talked to you guys about this before. If you want a little bit more detail about the whole depression part, you should check out last week's video, which actually has a lot more, you know, in-depth talk about that. And now let's move on to my favorite part of Accutane, the fan questions. The first one comes from Jack Fullerton, and he says, did you try anything else for your acne before you started Accutane? Did you try, you know, facial cleansers? Did you try tree oil? All that good stuff. Now, basically, I've tried every single thing you could ever think of. Anything that you've seen on the internet, anything that your friends have told you, anything that your mom tells you from the 50s that she used, I've tried everything. Now for me it didn't work, and I feel bad kind of giving you guys my results because my acne was so severe that it didn't really matter if something would work for other people. It just wasn't gonna work for me because my acne was determined. It was setting up house and putting the TV there, turning the N64 on, and sticking around for quite a while. But I will say the one thing that helped me the most out of all the things that did fail me, the one thing that helped me the most, even though it didn't actually work, was benzoyl peroxide, 2.5%, and this was kind of like a cream. It wasn't something that you put on your face and then wash off in the shower. It was like you put it on and you let it stay there for about 15 minutes or something while you make your breakfast or whatever, and then you wash it off. That helped me the most. The next question comes from Vincent. Did your dermatologist give you any information about why Accutane took so long to kick in? Well, what I theorized on, and then what my dermatologist basically backed up for me, is that my Accutane wasn't absorbing as well as it should have, right? So it's fat soluble, and if you don't have enough fat in your diet, or if you don't have enough body fat or whatever, it's difficult for the Accutane to actually come in and be effective. For a lot of people, their regular diet includes a lot of fat, you know, fast food and all this good stuff. So there's lots of fat already in them. It's relatively easy to take Accutane, but for me, because I'm on such a specific restricted diet, my fat is a lot lower than most people's, even though it is still very healthy. It's a lot lower than most people's, so the Accutane took a little bit longer to actually affect me. Plus, I'm like 1.75 times the body weight of the average male, so my dosage has to be higher, and I feel like my mass changed the effectiveness of it. You know, I needed more of it. I needed a longer period of time for that Accutane to actually accumulate in my body. And the next question comes from Mez. And he said, you aren't going to forget about us original followers when you get a big YouTube channel, right? And the answer to that is unequivocally no. If you've been around with me since any time before now, I will not forget you. There's no way that I can forget you. And if you're worried about whether I know who you are or if I'm going to remember you, remember the only way that I can see you is if you leave comments. So if you're just liking my videos and viewing and you're an OG, you've been watching since I've had 500 subscribers, but you've never commented, there's no way that I could ever know who you are. So make sure that you comment, and comment on every video. The more you comment, the more I'm going to see you, the more I'm going to know your profile picture, your name, who you are, what kind of comments you leave, actually get to know you a little bit more. And I can tell you, absolutely, I will never forget the people who have been constantly commenting since the very beginning, showing me all this great support. I swear I can name off 50 different weird usernames like lol zombies and stuff like that, where I know these people. I feel like they are actually my friends, even though they have a weird name, a weird profile picture. I don't actually know them, but I feel close to you guys, and that is a blessing to me. And I could never take that for granted and forget you guys. I swear to you, I will never forget the people who have been following me from the very beginning. And the last question, and also I think the most interesting topic of this video, comes from Sarah, and she says basically she's in class, she was talking to this guy, she knows he was on Accutane before, so she asked about his side effects. At that point, he got super defensive, and what she thinks is also embarrassment, and then kind of shut himself off to her. And she was wondering why he got so embarrassed, why he got so defensive, and if there's anything she can do to kind of rectify the situation with him, since she has to have class with him for the next 4 or 5 months. Now, as much as I know that you were trying to help him, you were trying to be nice to him, I do realize exactly where he's coming from, because, you know, someone who's had acne for a long time, and especially severe acne that most people are not used to, all these people, they don't have a lot of acne in the first place, and then they kind of do like some washing soap regimen or some like tea tree oil or something very pedantic that works for them because they don't have a lot of acne, and then they come and they tell you like, oh bro, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And I know, I understand, because I've been there, you know. I know that the person is trying to help, but it's insulting, it's infuriating even, because it's like this, it's like a rich person coming up to someone who's poor, and the rich person being like, oh, why haven't you just tried investing in some stocks in your portfolio? And then the poor person's like, no, I can't do that. I literally cannot do that. That will not do anything for me because I have no money to do that with. It's the same thing, because then people are like, oh, you should try this and that, and then you're like, I can't. I've tried those things, they don't work. It's lucky for you that it does work, but for me it doesn't. Anyways, coming full circle, the reason I was saying all that is basically this kid has probably dealt with this type of, you know, this defensive mechanism that he's created over time, because people have probably continuously been talking about how ways that he can fix his acne, so he's always conscious, always getting reminded, people are always telling him how to fix it, what to do, and he's probably doing nothing wrong. It's just his genetics that got him the acne, and now he's dealing with the after effects of scarring or whatever, and then you ask him if he had any side effects, and while you were being, you know, good in nature, you had good meaning behind your question, to him it was just another question about how shitty his acne is. And forgive me for my cussing, but that's how he is feeling, and I understand it. And so I want you guys to at least look through the perspective of someone who's had a lot of acne before, because that defensive mechanism is not him trying to be mean to you, it's just him being like, I know, acne, I know, stop talking to me about my acne, talk to me about me, shut up about the acne. And to wrap that question up, how can you rectify the situation? Well, I would say just don't talk about it again. Don't go to him and apologize and be like, hey, I didn't mean to talk about your side effects. I know that is, again, really good-hearted and there's good nature behind that, but probably the easiest thing to do is just to ignore it and let him forget about it, because that's, I guarantee you, what he wants to do. If he wants to talk to you about it, he'll talk to you about it. Whew, that last question was a doozy, but that is the end of this video, guys. My face is a little bit better this week. I hope that we are cleared up in about 6 to 8 weeks. I'm looking to finish this whole treatment at week 52, because I think that would be a really funny 1-year transformation video. But thank you guys so much for joining me through all of this adventure. Especially thank you to everyone who's been with me since the earlier weeks of this, just staying with me and encouraging me, supporting me, leaving comments, likes, all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. Team Beyond the Week, lift heavy or die, MIRIN!